This video is going to go over all the issues you can run into while using FSD. I use it every day. I'm at about 40,000 kilometers driven on my Tesla this year, and I'd say 90% of that is FSD. So I spent a lot of time with it, and FSD is good. It's great. It's incredible. It does 99% of my driving problem-free, but there are still 100% issues, and I think that it's important to know what the software can do wrong so that you're sort of knowing what to expect when you're using it. I'll put a bunch of chapters. I'll try and make it as concise as possible and as easy to digest for anybody that's new to FSD, as well as people that are frequent users but maybe just don't use it enough to fully understand the problems that could come up. And another thing I just want to mention quickly here first is all of these issues exist in all three profiles. That's chill, standard, and hurry. With that said, no profile should ever do anything that's unsafe, illegal, or puts you in harm's way. But all of these things do exist in all three profiles. And so before we get into the issues, just a few, I guess maybe frequently asked questions. Does FSD work in the rain? Yes, absolutely. Does FSD work at night? Yes. Does it work in the fog? Yes. Full self-driving does really well in almost all conditions, and sometimes drives better than me in those conditions. With that said, if it's a snowy, icy day, the car doesn't always fully understand the road conditions with regard to that. So there are situations where the car can drive better than me, like in the rain, but on a snowy day, currently, I would probably take over and drive if I was thinking it was going to be really slippery, because I don't think the car really has the knowledge and the forethought to be like, oh, I need to slow down ahead of time because this intersection might be icy. So yeah, I mean, it works in all conditions is kind of the answer, but it also takes some extra care when you're in adverse weather conditions. Okay, so one of the first ones I'll talk about is FSD pulling out into oncoming traffic. I'll show two clips here as I'm talking about it, but basically full self-driving has a tendency, very rarely, but will pull out into traffic that's moving fast, and it won't give itself enough time to get up to speed. So these are on roads where you're turning right onto like highway speed, 70 kilometer hour plus. I'll put the miles here equivalent. You know, if it was a slow moving traffic and the car was turning right, it would be fine. But it'll do it in situations where people are moving fast, and FSD just doesn't ever use speed to get out of situations. So it won't just like floor it like a human would to get up to speed. It'll slowly turn, and then, you know, it'll go fast, but not nearly fast enough to avoid an accident. So I would deem that safety critical, and it is something that can absolutely happen. So just be aware of it. And then another issue that can happen is FSD will sometimes ignore the lane that it's in. So if it's a right turn only lane, but the navigation wants it to go straight, it will occasionally, for example, ignore that it should be turning right in that lane and will try to go straight. And I'm really curious what the car's going to do here. This is a right turn only lane. Okay, I had to disengage. This is questionable if it's safety critical or if it's just an illegal one, because if there's nobody around, the car could very easily go straight in a right turn only lane and be fine. But it can definitely put itself into situations where if it performs that and another vehicle isn't expecting it, you can get into an accident. So like in the nav, it wants to go straight. We're in definitely a left turn lane. Okay. So definitely something to look out for. I hope that this improves with either better nav data or the next FSD update. So another thing that FSD cannot do at all, and it can be safety, it can be whatever, comfort, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't understand potholes, and it likely won't avoid debris in the road unless it's bigger than a box, like an Amazon box. Okay, there's a huge pothole. Okay, I gotta take over. The big issue with this is a lot of times the potholes tend to be kind of exactly where FSD wants to drive. Just keep in mind, like while you're driving with the car and while the car's driving you, to like look out at the road. There's definitely plenty of videos of people getting their cars damaged driving through bigger potholes that a human would absolutely avoid. And currently, FSD does nothing to avoid potholes. So just be aware of that, absolutely. Another thing FSD cannot do is it cannot read signs. So if something says road closed or anything to that regard, it won't really have any idea. If the road is barricaded and it's obviously closed and impassable, FSD will definitely try to like turn itself around if it has the space and do a good job of that. But, you know, if there's a single sign up that says road closed for whatever reason, FSD could very likely try to just go around that. I can see that it says don't enter. The car, I think, has no idea. Yeah, so Okay, and so another one that, again, how you want to deem it, it's up to you, but FSD absolutely can run red lights. What it's going to do here is it's not just going to blow through a red light, it will come to a full stop, it'll sit at a stoplight for a while, and then seemingly out of nowhere, we'll just try to go through a red light. So if it tries, it's just very, very busy here. I don't really want to get a ticket. I'll probably just take over and then spin around up there. Oh, okay. I've had this happen countless times at this point. There's tons of videos of it fully going through an intersection on a red light. So initially when it was happening, people were thinking that the car was trying to like predict a green. And I even thought that myself the first time it happened because it started to move just as the light was turning green. But absolutely the car is not doing that, and it will just try to go through an intersection on a full red light. It doesn't do it all the time, but it's just definitely something to worry about. Okay, and this is something that kind of varies from drive to drive. Occasionally, full self-driving will just kind of ignore flaggers on the side of the road. So if you're going through a construction site and there's a flagger holding the stop sign, sometimes it works perfect. Sometimes even just with a hand signal, it will stop for you. But there's definitely been times, I'll put up a video right now, where the car will just seemingly ignore a flagger with a well-presented stop sign and try to continue to go. So something to watch out for when you're going through construction areas and places like that. Okay, and this is more of just like minor annoyances with FSD and how it drives. So one of the main things that causes me to intervene on almost every drive at this point is its stop sign behavior. I ended up actually doing a video where I flew a drone for 20 minutes over a four-way stop, and I think it's like 12% of people actually fully stop for the stop sign. The rest of the people do what's considered like a California rolling stop or something to that regard, but it is very, very, very unnatural the way FSD stops at stop signs. And I'm not saying that the car needs to blow through the stop sign, but it is just very slow coming up to the stop sign, fully stopping, and then going. As well, with that behavior, when it is going really slow to stop, it will sometimes go down to 1 kilometer an hour, try to go, realize that it hasn't stopped, stop and go to 0, and then go again. That's that 1 kilometer, 0 kilometer thing. And it can even do that twice. So there'll be times when you're at stop signs and it like tries to get down to 0 kilometers an hour, tries to go, tries to stop, tries to go. And if there's people following you, it's beyond frustrating for the people behind you because already the car is slow. And then if it's doing that at a stop sign, it just causes a lot of confusion for the drivers around you. So a really easy way to fix this that I find is as you're coming up to the stop sign and the car is slowed enough for you, just press the pedal. It's an intervention, but it gets you through the stop sign in a lot more natural of a way. And so something that FSD version 13 specifically can do is it can reverse now. So if you're at a dead end or a place like that, the car can absolutely go into reverse and get you spun around. The thing you're going to notice though sometimes is you're going to get in situations where the car will need to reverse to get out and it won't. And almost certainly if that's the case, if you look on the screen, it's going to stay either standard, chill, or hurry. So if any of those profiles are present, if you're in a speed profile, the car cannot reverse. So it sees the dead end, so it should just reverse and flick us around would be the thing that I would do. Oh, but it won't. Because it has the standard profile, that means it can't reverse. If it says this, the car doesn't know like how to reverse. It can only reverse if it's in the fourth profile or the empty profile, whatever you want to call it. And that goes away once the car goes over 41 kilometers an hour. So if you start at FSD and you're driving over 41 kilometers an hour, you will pop into a speed profile. And then if all of a sudden you need to reverse, the car won't. So the kind of fix you can do is you can disable and re-enable FSD if you're trying to be like a purist and not drive manually as much as you want. I mean, for the most part, you can just pop in reverse and do it yourself, but that is kind of the only way to fix that is to end the FSD, re-enable it, and hope that the speed profile goes away. And I'm not quite sure how to categorize this, but FSD's highway behavior is something that I would consider unsafe at the time being. Again, that's all three profiles, chill, standard, hurry. It will follow too close. It doesn't always, but 100% it will tailgate within about a second of the car in front of it. And I've seen several videos online of that resulting in an accident. So there's nothing you can really do about that. You can scroll the speed back on the wheel to have yourself going slower than the car in front of you. But ultimately, the only way to fix it is to disengage, back up and re-enable it. There's times now on the highway that I use autopilot just because I don't really love the way FSD handles itself. And I really hope the new version 13.3 fixes that. In autopilot, you can set the distance that you want the car to follow, and with FSD, that's just gone, unfortunately. And then speaking of FSD on the highway, if you're a person that uses the HOV lane, here in Canada, we have the HOV lane, and if you have an EV, you're able to use it, even if you're just alone in there. FSD doesn't understand the HOV lane. I would love for the car to stay in this lane. We'll see what happens. Yeah, see right away. Like, I mean, I put it in the HOV lane, and instantly, for no reason, it came out of the HOV lane. Even if you have the box enabled and you put the car into the HOV lane, very likely it will eventually put itself out and either sit in the fast lane or go into the slow lane. So as for how FSD handles school zones, it's a mixed bag, but basically it doesn't do well. It will, for the most part, read the speed limit, and for here in Canada, that's 30 kilometers an hour. So quite often you'll be going, and if you're driving 60, the car doesn't register the 30 until it hits the 30 sign. And once it does, it might try to slow down, depending on your speed offset, to, let's say, 42 kilometers an hour. But it does it so gradually that you'd be speeding for a long time in the school zone. And then even with that, it'll sit at 42, which is still speeding. Input, which, sorry, by the way, we're in a school zone. It sees it, but we're not adhering to it. So I will scroll that back. The only way to really fix that is while you're driving through a school zone, you can, on the right wheel, you can scroll down the speed and you can bring it down to 30 yourself manually. If you do this, it forces the car's max speed, and then it will go 30 through the school zone. The issue with this, though, is the car won't register the exit school zone or the existing speed limit until it sees another speed limit sign, and that could be kilometers down the road or until it turns onto a new road. So we're out of the school zone, but the car thinks we're still in a 30 zone, which is unfortunate because now we're going 41. Even though I've scrolled this up to go 55, the car won't speed up enough. Definitely school zones and parks are frustrating right now because the car just has no idea how to handle it at all. And just a tip, if you have scrolled the wheel down to reduce the max speed limit and you want to just bring it back up, you can tap on the speed limit sign icon on the car and it will just go back to the default. It saves scrolling the wheel. It's a small little shortcut, but it definitely helps. So this is just more of annoyance than anything else, but it can become a safety issue. FSD signals way too early, pretty much all the time. This is an issue. We're signaling right for the fact that we're going right at the next intersection, which is wrong. So I'm just gonna press it just so the person behind us doesn't get confused, but I think it's gonna pop back on. Yeah, so we're like, this is way, way, way too early to signal because it's confusing. And that's something that I've critiqued version 13.4 for a while. Like, I appreciate that it signals, obviously, but it does it so far ahead of time that then it becomes weird. Like, the person behind us doesn't know what we're actually intending to do. So here in Canada, it'll signal about 200 meters before a turn. And depending on where you are, that isn't a big deal. But if you're in a city where there's lots of alleyways and roads, that means the car is signaling even a full block ahead of the turn that it wants to make. So if there's somebody behind you and the car is signaling, they're going to assume you're going to want to turn right on this road, but you're actually signaling to turn right 2 roads ahead. So it's frustrating. I hope it gets fixed. The only thing you can do to like stop that is you can press the turn signal again to cancel it, but then very likely it's just going to pop back on again in a few seconds. So how does FSD handle emergency vehicles? Assume it has no idea what's happening. If you see an ambulance, if you see a fire truck coming behind you, I would just take over, I would pull over and handle it yourself. I've seen videos where apparently FSD pulls over, but it's definitely not fully implemented. It's not a feature. It's a happy mistake if it does work. It's an upcoming feature, apparently going to use the in-cabin microphone. And then when there's an emergency vehicle detected, your volume will lower, there'll be an alert on the screen, and the car will pull over. So that is coming up, but it is not there right now. So you've pressed the button to start FSD. The car has got you there all the way. You're at your destination. What's it going to do now? Who knows? Destination parking is an upcoming feature. So currently it's a mixed bag of if it's just going to stop in front of, let's say, the store that you've set the destination to, or it can occasionally and does for sure try to park. but it's not a full feature. So I've had times where the car is backed perfectly into a parking spot. I've had times where the car's stopped right in front of the store where I want it to go. And I've had times where the car's just like done the most bizarre 12-point turnaround, half park on the wrong side of the road. If there's no one around, I often let the car do what it wants to do just to see what will happen. But if you're getting close to your destination, generally speaking, just take over and park yourself. You can use auto park to park for you, but FSD currently will not do it for you properly. At least not enough that you can count on it. Okay, and then another really quick one is the speed offset sometimes is broken. It'll be, let's say, a 60-kilometer-hour road, and with the speed offset, that should mean, let's say you're supposed to go 72 max, but the car for some reason thinks that it can go 90 max. And that happens not all the time, but it seems to happen on the same roads. So I think it's like nav data. I don't exactly know what it is, but it is just something to look out for, because you can catch yourself in a situation where the car is speeding by way more than you would expect given the speed offset that you've told the car. I don't really have a fix for this other than just to supervise, be constantly checking your speedometer as you're going. Okay, so you've pushed to start FSD, you're on a gravel road, or you're parked next to a curb because the car is just parallel parked for you, and the car's not moving, and it says object and path, please take over. This is definitely an issue with FSD currently. It's a bit annoying because the car will park itself close to a curb, and then you'll see on the like heat map that it sees the curb and it's red, and because of that, the car won't want to go, and you'll have to press the accelerator to kind of intervene to get the car to move. There's nothing I can really suggest here other than if you're parking the car, park a little bit away from the curb so that you don't see that red heat map showing up on the Tesla Vision on the screen. If you do park too close, the car almost certainly won't go, or it will take its time to really struggle to go. So just be aware of that. The object and path, almost certainly there isn't an object, and it's just the car being overly cautious. And then once it's driving, it's fine. Okay, and then another thing that FSD can do related to red lights. Here in Canada, we have flashing signs when you're on the highway or any fast-moving roads that indicates the light is going to change to yellow. This allows you to slow down before you get to an intersection. Otherwise, you get caught underneath the yellow and either have to slam on the brakes or run through a very stale yellow. The car doesn't understand those at all. And with that said, and even on other roads, the car will go through very stale yellow lights, which in some ways I'm okay with, because sometimes slamming on the brakes for a yellow is not normal, but the car absolutely will go through a light as it changes to red. So you are effectively running a red light. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. So just be aware. And so how does the vision monitoring system work? So the way the car works, there is a cabin camera that looks down at you. And basically, as long as you're looking forward at the road, you're good to go. You don't ever need to touch the wheel. You can wear a hat, you can wear sunglasses, and as long as you look like you're paying attention, the car will be happy. It'll be satisfied with that. You can press the blue button to start the drive, never touch the wheel again. If you need to play with the maps, change a song, do any of that stuff, generally speaking, that's fine. Think about it as though you're manually driving. You can look away from the road for a few seconds to touch the screen, and then while you're doing it, just glance back up. And as long as you're doing that, you'll satisfy the like nag from the car. So there are people that talk about getting the strikes, because if you get 5 strikes, you lose access to FSD for a week. It takes a lot of inattention to get a strike. Like the car really, really doesn't want to give you the strike. So just supervise the drive, be a responsible driver, and it's pretty easy. At the end of the day, the car is doing almost everything for you. You have basically one task, and that is to just watch the road and make sure that if anything is happening that the car can't handle, that you're there to take over. All right, I think that's it. Let me know what you think of the video. I am not sure exactly how to tailor it. Like I said, I didn't want to get too into the weeds of how to use FSD, because I'm hoping this is for someone that understands FSD but just doesn't know the nuance and details. But if you're looking for more in-depth FSD videos and tutorials, I'm happy to make that. If you like the video, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. And I will see you guys on the next version, FSD 13.3, which will probably come out any day now, because I've finally made this video that I've been putting off making forever. But I wanted to make the video, even if it helps one person before the new version comes out. I feel like that's great. So yeah, take care. Bye.